I've seen too many small businesses bite into the cheap label printers that promise no-brainer pricing, only to end up with faded barcodes, jammed media, and a whole lot of wasted time. The regret shows up when a delivery driver can't scan a tag, or when a warehouse shift has to pause because the printer stopped mid-run. So the question is, does the Zebra ZT610 feel like a smarter buy, or is it just another expensive piece of hardware that looks good on paper? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. I spent the last week setting up a ZT610 in two very different environments: a mid-sized distribution center that ships 5,000 orders a day, and a small workshop that prints hazard warning stickers for a handful of technicians. What I learned from those real-world tests is worth sharing before you decide whether to put this printer on your budget. First off, the ZT610 isn't a plug-and-play gadget you can toss onto a desk and expect flawless operation. The initial setup takes about 15 minutes if you follow the quick start guide, but you still need to configure the network interface you'll use: USB, serial, or Ethernet. For the distribution center, we chose Ethernet because the printer needed to stay online with the warehouse management system. The interface menu is navigated through a touch-color LCD that feels more like a tablet than an industrial printer, so the learning curve isn't steep, but it does require a moment to map the correct IP address and port settings. Once it's on the network, the ZT610 shines. The 203 dpi resolution prints crisp, scannable barcodes even on the smallest 0.5 mm line width. In the distribution center, we printed shipping labels that went through 3 automated sorters without a single misread. That level of precision is something you can't afford to lose when you're handling thousands of parcels daily. The printer's ink-free, thermal transfer technology also means you never have to worry about cartridge replacements. You just load the ribbon and the media, and the printer does the rest. The ribbon is a consumable, sure, but it's a predictable cost compared to the mystery of ink clogs in cheaper models. What about daily usability? The ZT610 has a tear-off mechanism that lets you pull the finished label away cleanly, which is a small but significant convenience when you're printing a steady stream of tags. The touchscreen displays real-time status, so you instantly see when a ribbon is low or when the media is jammed. In practice, that saved us about 5 minutes per shift because the operator didn't have to walk to the printer to check an LED indicator. The printer also supports multiple label formats, from simple text labels to complex RFID tags, without needing additional hardware, which makes it adaptable for businesses that might expand their labeling needs later. Now, the hidden trade-offs. The ZT610 is a 4-inch wide printer, which sounds generous until you try to print larger graphics or oversized safety signs. If your workflow needs anything beyond 4 inches, you'll have to look elsewhere. The machine's footprint is also larger than the desktop models you might be used to. It sits on a sturdy metal base and takes up roughly the space of a small printer cart. In a cramped office, this could be a deal breaker. Additionally, while the printer is built for durability, the initial price point is higher than the budget options that many small shops consider. The cost is justified if you need high-volume reliability, but it can feel steep for a shop that only prints a few dozen labels a week. Who should buy the ZT610? If you run a warehouse, a manufacturing line, a healthcare facility, or any operation where label accuracy and uptime directly affect compliance or productivity, this printer is a solid investment. Its ability to handle continuous runs without overheating, combined with the precision of thermal transfer, means you'll spend less time troubleshooting and more time moving product. It also makes sense for businesses that already use Zebra's ecosystem. The printer integrates smoothly with Zebra's software suite, making label design and data integration straightforward. Who should skip it? If you're a hobbyist, a home office, or a small boutique that only needs occasional labels, you'll likely be overpaying for the ruggedness you won't fully use. In those scenarios, a low-cost direct thermal printer or even a desktop inkjet label printer can meet the need without the larger footprint and higher consumable cost of the ribbon. Also, if your label width requirement exceeds 4 inches, the ZT610 won't cut it, and you'd be better off with a 6-inch model. Let's talk value beyond the headline specs. The durability claim isn't just marketing fluff. The printer's metal chassis and sealed print head survive the dust and temperature swings common in industrial settings. Over the week, we ran it for 8 hours straight, and the print quality stayed consistent. There was no drift in barcode density or smearing that you sometimes see with cheaper thermal printers after they heat up. The warranty, which comes from Zebra's official channel, adds peace of mind for businesses that can't afford downtime. On the flip side,